The Yahowah vlog with Yada. Settle yourself and step in. Let the truth begin. Open the door and hear it clear. Yada on the mic as we bring it simple and true. A chance to shoot is coming right at you. Listen in for the light in these last times. Now let's go live with Yada.
Well, welcome to the vlog on the vlog. For those who may not know the lovely lady in the circle, this is Leah. She is my wife. We are the product of an arranged marriage. Surely. And if we act like we have been together for a very long time, well, it's about 6,000 years, but who's counting? Miss Leah does not like surprises. So a couple of days ago, when I heard that we did not have a scheduled guest for today, Friday, I went in and when she was working on another song, I said, you know, Leah, it's true that you don't like surprises, correct? She says, correct. So you would not be upset with somebody who gives you a foreknowledge of what is upcoming that might include you. And she, the correct answer is, yeah, that is correct. I would not. Okay, so now we've passed that. I said, so Miss Leah, who is the second picture in the introduction to the vlog on the vlog? Who might that person be? Yeah, she said, oh yeah, it's Leah. So we have an open spot on Friday for the vlog on the vlog, and you've been penciled in. So I said, now you can prepare for this by choosing the subjects that you want to talk about. And she said, well, I want to talk about women's issues and slavery in the world at large, particularly in the Islamic world, and human trafficking and, you know, issues like that. I said, that's fine. You know, we do talk about those issues virtually every show, but you want to add to them, that would be great. And she sent me some things on them, and we discussed them this morning. And then as I was thinking about them, I said, you know, we have the opportunity 5 days a week to expose the lies in the news on the blogosphere and social media using evidence and reason.
We do.
And I'm pretty articulate in that regard. I've been around the world quite a few times and not only read a lot, but written a lot, probably written more than most anybody alive. And therefore, I can refute most of these things or acknowledge things that are true with evidence and reason. We could talk for hours, as we have consistently shown. And more recently, I've tried to infuse that dialogue with some more colorful language and emotion. Not my strong suit, mind you, but I think the occasion calls for it, because if Yahowah, who is the God we serve, wanted us simply to respond and encourages people with logic, evidence, and reason, we would still be writing 12 hours a day, and we wouldn't be doing the vlogs. Because the only reason to go from written material to spoken material is to infuse the spoken material with emotion that you cannot put into the written word. But the written word is far better if all you're doing is presenting evidence and reason. Unfortunately, the target audience today, Yisra'el, they have been adverse to evidence and reason pursuant to God for a very long time. They are so bewildered by Judaism and their politics that they haven't had a relationship with God for 3,400 years. The Exodus was excuse my French, shit show. Mm-hmm. They were obnoxious. They began by being religious. They became political. They were belligerent, malcreants the entire time. It was a horrible experience for Yahowah. And Yahowah agreed with them when they said, you know, we never want to see you or hear from you again. Go away. And Yahowah said, yeah, I'm up with that. That sounds like the best.
Grand idea.
That's the best thing you guys have ever said. I'm up with that. But unfortunately for the rest of us, God said, well, since I'm not going to be talking directly to them, and they need serious counseling and parenting, I'm going to have to choose some souls that I can speak through and work through to achieve the desired result. Otherwise, we're just going to end up with squalor and disaster as these people continue to spiral into the abyss. And so God picked his people. And what we have learned is that while there are 5 souls that we know that Yah has redeployed many times, 3 of those are the central characters in his story from beginning to end. And this woman named Ruth, she loves boldly, who is in the middle of the barley field there, with both the sun and the moon, which is it's a tough thing to pull off unless you are really bold, is the same woman as pictured there with this bow in her hair and the pretty dress in the circle. They are the same soul. And they exist along with this fellow that is talking now. They exist primarily to do 2 things: to fix the problems with humanity and to finish the agenda that God once achieved. And to do that, there's a central focus of God's attention. It's a fellow named Adam. Probably heard of him.
Mm-hmm.
That fellow named Adam, he would come back as a fellow named Shem, name of names. And then he would return as Dowd, God's beloved. And of course, we would see him again as a boy coming from being a shepherd in Bethlehem, which was the home of Boaz, and by marriage, Ruth.
Yeah, I heard it was a package deal. She comes with the land.
She does. She comes with the land.
That's
It was according to Boaz, it was a packaged deal, and she comes bearing gifts. She delivers the Kinsman Redeemer as the Amah. And so, as we've finally put all the pieces together, we realize that these 2 individuals serve as mom and dad. They are the father and the mother. They give birth to and raise, nurture, support, restore the firstborn son of God, Dowd. And by them serving as exemplars to support and raise Dowd, collectively they make the covenant possible. They exemplify the covenant. They open the door to the covenant. They provide the welcome mat outside. They cleanse everybody of their guilt. They provide the adoption papers. They are full service mom and dad. She is known as the Amah, maternal servant, productive mother. And he, in addition to being known as Noach and Chanuk and Boaz, he is the Adamah. And Adamah is an interesting term. It means bloody red man of the earth. It means the man from Edom. He is the associate of Miss Amah. As a matter of fact, there's only one letter that differentiates Amah from Adamah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what letter that is?
A Dalet.
Dalet.
It is. And what is Dalet drawn as, by the way?
A door.
A
A door.
And who opened the doorway to life?
Dowd.
Dowd.
Dowd. And what letter does Dowd's name have repeated?
Dalet.
That is the only difference. That is the only difference between Amah and Adamah. And so that's the story that God is telling. And what we've come to recognize is that the reason God asked us to write less and speak more, after we'd been doing this for 23 years and now we're 25 years into it, is that logic alone is not going to appeal to his people. They're too far gone. God's been trying to reach them with evidence and reason for 3,500 years, and it's
not worked well.
It's just not worked at all. So now emotional appeal is what is left, but it has to be a very intelligent emotional appeal, and we accomplished that through song. And so we're going to devote this program to the Amah's, Leah's, Ruth's overall contribution to this story. She gives birth to the covenant because she sings the lyrics that they need to hear. She plays the music that will finally resonate with their souls. Now, the first song we're going to play is a song that is a request of mine, not the lyrics, but the style.
Genre.
The genre, the style of it. And Leah does many, many, many styles. The genre or the style of this is classical.
Late romantic.
Yes.
Spec-
There are three
Yeah.
composers that I happen to like. As a person, I despise Wagner, but the passion in his music, particularly the March of the Valkyries, is extraordinary. I'm a fan of Tchaikovsky and Rachmaninoff. And the reason I mention those three composers is that the music they write exudes emotion.
Strong emotion.
It's very strong, bold emotion.
Yes.
And it's, if you listen to the March of the Valkyries, for example, or Tchaikovsky's Sixth Symphony, Pathetic, you are motivated to get up and get going. It is, it's what doesn't have the cadence of a march, because it's not for your feet to march, it's for your heart to start moving. It stirs the imagination.
It actually even stirs brain waves are very different when you listen to music.
Yeah. And it is the emotion of reason that we find in classical music more than any other form. So this morning we had a lovely chat, and Leah says, I have a present for you. And so she played the song that we're going to hear. It does not have the typical graphics yet. The song was finished probably an hour ago. So it does not have those yet. The man that looks like he's a deer caught in the headlights there. It's a song I have been told, because I only wanted it played because I found the music so stirring. By way of background, the second song we're going to play is a song that Leah wrote that began with a 5-minute classical introduction, and then it went to the song. And somehow that classical introduction got lost in the processing. And
Suno crashed.
Yeah, so I have been begging her to go back into that genre.
Do a classical song.
Give me a classical song, please.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was her gift this morning, and I found it stirring. I found it more emotionally motivating than the March of the Valkyries. And for those who don't know that, if you've ever seen the movie Apocalypse Now,
He likes that song.
and you know the helicopters as they're flying into that beach, and he says, "Wind it up," they're playing Apocalypse. For that movie, they're playing March of the Valkyries. Unfortunately, that song was written by Wagner, who turned out to be a raging anti-Semite. So
Foaming at the mouth.
foaming at the mouth, anti-Semite.
Oh yeah.
But nonetheless, you still have to know when the music is stirring. And I said, I would love to see you create something in that genre. And she did, but with a feminine voice, a motherly call, but a very, very bold motherly call. So we do have the lyrics that they will play when we play the song that will be here under the guy, the deer caught in the headlights there, or the bull caught in the headlights there. And so you'll be able to see them as it plays. And we will, within a month's time, I'm certain, probably via our beloved Depot, have some stunning graphics to go with this song.
Yes, he has agreed to do the video.
But since Miss Leah shared this with me now, and it was my gift, I am giving it to everyone the world over to appreciate.
Talking through the wreckage with silken words and witness-worn lips, pulling the truth from the tangled tongues of temples, tyrants, and tribal warlords. Not a throne nor a thunderbolt, no god in a borrowed disguise, just a man with a map of meaning and a match for manufactured lies. He found the name beneath the noise, the name religion had erased and nullified, took the dust off the ancient door and let the living light back in. From Qumran caves to crowded airwaves, from the script to the speaking room, Yahowah followed the thread through the centuries and called the children out of gloom. No price on the pages, no purse for the proof, just a voice for the voiceless and a roof for the truth. Hear the bright good news, bring the battered back to the blue. Sound the signal strong, Yahowah's name has waited too long. Yahowah knows, so Yahowah shows where the river of revelation flows. Not religion, not a ruler's scar, just truth on the tongue of the Basar. He said Yahowah is more than reading, more than a word in a weathered line. It is knowing, naming, noticing the Father's mind meeting mine. Torah, not a tethered burden, but a trail through the thorns and thistles, a signed invitation home to family, not a book of religious whistles. Dowd sang first from the doorway, the beloved bore the cost. The Lamb crossed death and opened life for every child once lost. And the herald holds up the lantern, not claiming the light as his own. He points through the fog of falsehood to the Father, the family, the home. No creed to control you, no laws to command, just Yahowah's witness and a willing hand. Bear the bright good news, bring the battered back to the blue. Sound the signal strong, Yahowah's name has waited too long. Yahowah knows, so Yahowah shows where the river of revelation flows. Not religion, not a ruler's scar, just truth on the tongue of the Basar. A herald is human, flesh, breath, bone, not the king, he is the voice calling home. No halo for hire, no altar, no artifice, only the evidence, only the witness. When the world sells shadows as salvation's flame, the Basar brings back Yahowah's name. When the scrolls are silent and the proud depart, he puts the promise back into the heart. Basar, bear the bright good news, bring the battered back to the blue. Basar, sound the signal strong, Yahowah's name has waited too long. Yahowah knows, so Yahowah shows where the river of revelation flows. The Torah turns, the trumpets start, truth on the tongue of the Basar.
Well, I thank you very much for listening. That's the end of our show today.
Best show ever. It's real quick.
Shut it down. Take a break. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
What more do you say? Shabbat shalom. What
Yeah.
more do you say to that?
I don't know.
I don't know what was better, the appropriateness of the lyrics or the power of the melody.
They're supposed to be equal. Yeah. I try to aim for that.
Well, you know, if I had been given a copy of the lyrics in advance, I probably would have done a 4-hour introduction to that song and explained every line of it. And maybe that would have ruined it. Maybe that will make it even better. I expect we'll play it again tonight, though that is not the primary song for tonight. The next song actually is. But I want to share a few things. I can't, I have decent memory, and I glommed on to the first 20 lyrics that I thought needed illumination, and then I said, "Oh wow, it's just overwhelming. Why speak of one and do an injustice to the other?" For those who are not in the know, where this may have been a first program on the blog for you as part of the Yahowah vlog, I would let you know that the books that we have written, there are 38 of them now. I think I've written well over 40, but there's 38 of them on the site. That those books are all under the name Yada, Yahowah. Yada means to know. And when I began this a quarter century ago, I began writing under the name Yada, which appears very often in that song. And I liked the name because the name means I know, and I acknowledge, I'm familiar with, I accept, and I profess. And it was a lovely way to write anonymously. And as I would say every time that I had the opportunity, this story is not about me. I'm just your guide. That's not what Yahowah wanted, however. The story is as much about me as it is his beloved son, as it is my wife, as it is the covenant family. It is the story of us. I did not like when we first encountered the prophecy on Choder. I was doing a translation of Yeshayahu. I wanted to take it from the word pictures, where there was a need to explain who the whore was in God's story and who the good woman was in God's story. And so I knew I had to get to Yeshayahu 14, where the whore is introduced. And in that process, we came upon Yeshayahu Isaiah 11, the most powerful prophecy probably there is anywhere. And it speaks of a choder, describes him as a tree. He's a tree of knowledge and of wisdom and understanding, bold, and he's empowered by the 7 spirits of Yahowah. And when I read that, I realized we're running out of time for this prophecy to be fulfilled. And there is no other person who has introduced Yahowah's name or written more accurately regarding what he had to say.
Not even close.
Not even within 1/1000th of 1%. I mean, that and that was 10, 12 years ago. That was a long time ago. And so I said, okay, boy, if we're not going to play the anonymous game anymore, that means that you want me to be a named player in your story. I'll accept that. That wasn't part of our deal, but I'll accept that. But I know what that means, and that's not a good thing. That means I'm going to be a target. But you've given me the spirit of Gabor and all of that. I'll go along with that. We'll go where the words lead. That's what we promised to do. And then it wasn't days later before we came to the prophecy of the Nachri, as it was delivered by Solomon on the Sermon on the Mount on Teruah at the commencement address of Yahweh's home. That's really hit hard. And then you found that the Nachri prophecy actually begins in the Torah.
Moshe,
We're in the 29th chapter. Moshe says, time's going to come in the last days, and you need to be prepared for it, where you're going to revert to the conditions we just experienced in Sodom. And God's going to send the Nachri. And this observant foreigner is your only hope of salvation. And it's all over Isaiah. And it continued to build that way until Leah came in one day. She had first needed the 89th Mizmor translated. She says, I think this is the answer to everything.
Yes.
Turns out I wrote the dadgun thing. And it is.
It's the be all end all.
It is the end all, be all, end all of
It
God's
is.
story. It's all about Dowd, his firstborn son, and the roles that we play to support him, to make him all he can be. And then years later, she came in with the same, I'm almost going to pee in my pants unless you deal with this, the 31st.
No, it was Mizmor 113.
Oh, yeah,
Came
113, yeah,
first,
okay.
yes.
And then, but we ended up with
And then
the
31.
the 31st Mashal, the final
Yeah.
word picture. And it's the story of a mother coaxing her wayward son back into a relationship with Yahowah so that he would accept who he really is, know his calling, know his purpose in life. And we translated that, and it was obvious that there's only two people that could possibly have been used in that role. And Leah and I met because Yahowah asked her to go talk to Ruth.
Go ask Ruth.
And so there is Ruth as the Amah who delivers the kinsman redeemer. And so you see Ruth here because the soul that resonated, spoke so boldly. Probably the most powerful lines ever delivered are delivered by Ruth. And this then brought us into a level of discovery of what God wants from us and for his son and for the covenant family that is light years beyond what anyone has ever conceived. So at that point, I told Leah, and I have repeated it on our program, that I have a moratorium on titles. Okay? God, you pushed it probably way too far. Let's back up.
Yeah, I said, have you seen this? He's
Please,
like, no, get out of my office.
Would you please back us out of the story a little bit? And let's just get back to the nuts and bolts of the story.
Yeah.
And he keeps on saying,
No.
But hey, kid, you are the story.
Yeah.
And so here I was trying to explain what God's perspective was. And we come to a series of passages by Yeshayahu, who is the official textbook author of proper chodering. And in 12, 15 statements between Yeshayahu 62 and 63, he has a symphony of Shems.
Oh, yeah.
Shem is names. And I think there's 24 of them in 17 statements, something of that nature.
A
And you say, okay,
ridiculous
God,
amount. Yeah.
You're obviously not
Stupid.
going to pay any attention to my desire to step, let's take it back a notch. That's not the way you're going to play it. And obviously the way you want to play it is the way we're going to play it, because I mean, if we're going to succeed, I'd rather succeed on your terms. And if we fail, I'd rather be able to say, hey man, we did it your way. All right. So I said, we'll go with this. And so it ended up taking me to rewriting my analysis of the 10 statements in stone. And then it just hit me like a ton of bricks, who the mother and father are in that fifth statement, and who the two people are standing beside the little tent peg. I mean, a tent peg at all. That's their child. and that child is Dowd. And so it was just overwhelmingly transformative. And I said, okay, God, I mean, obviously we're not going to play this quietly anymore. Bold is the order of the day. So there we are. Ruwth, she sings boldly. We're going to have Miss Ruwth, Miss Leah on the program, and we're going to have her sing boldly. The second name that I want to draw your attention to, although it was spelled correctly in the introduction, but spelled incorrectly thereafter, and maybe it's spelled incorrectly because it's easier to get these voices to singers to sing it that way. But Basar does not have an H in it. It is a human herald. It's a Basar. Mm-hmm. And the role of the human herald is to restore Dowd's relationship not only with Yahowah, which we've achieved, but also with his people, which we're working on. And that's why this is a
very
concerto.
Tall order.
Yeah, this is a concerto to the Basar.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of it falls into place from there. We will play that song again, you can be assured. All right, so the next song is a song that I thought was the best she had written. Now I think it's the second best that she has written. It's also bold. It's called People. And I have, of course, we played the song several family hours ago, several weeks ago. Didn't have graphics. Now it has graphics. Mm-hmm. And we're going to play the song again this evening. So this is a teaser to that song. Now that we have graphics and lyrics and the melody, but this is another bold and pointed song, and this one, the message is God doesn't like people.
Neither do I.
And if you're going to serve Him, you've got to recognize the reason He doesn't like people. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's a bold statement. You've got the religions, God loves everybody, or Islam, God hates everybody. But God's disgusted with people. He made it really clear that when people became many, they became universally evil. Mm-hmm. And so God's not looking for this idea of saving everybody. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't love everybody. That's for darn sure. He's just looking to get the numbskulls pushed away, incinerated, ultimately, the trash, and to begin again with very few people so that the best of His people can help a few people pass muster and ultimately earn the right to be empowered and enriched and to leave the three-dimensional world and go into the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh dimension. So the second song highlights the problem of people. And they are related topics because the role that the bull plays, that fellow who is the Basar, he is God's fixer. He doesn't fix God, obviously. He fixes the problems that God has with man. Universally, no, because God doesn't want them universally fixed.
There are many.
It's just when God said, I want to do away with humanity. I regret creating humankind. Mm. He sent Noah, who was Chinook, to go fix that problem. And the fixing of the problem wasn't convincing the Nephilim, the fallen, to come to their senses. There was no communication with them at all. It was to eliminate all of the humans within the Amah, which were just in that region at that time, and then reboot the system with 8 souls, going from many to few, with the hope that Noah, as the fixer, would reestablish the covenant, and that he and his wife would give birth to and raise a young man who was named Shem, the name of renown, who was Dowd again. Mm-hmm. And that's the story. That's the way they went about fixing this problem of rotten people. So the story goes on, and it's repeated throughout time. And so people is not the Barbara Streisand people of, people who love people are the luckiest people in the world.
Nope.
Nope, it's the antithesis of that.
No, yes.
And so it's God's perspective on people.
People who chase people are the loudest people in the room. We're talking, always talking, never listening, and yet letting ego hide all the truth inside, acting more righteous than right. Critics are very certain people, they're the loudest people in the world, with one target, one very easy target, a feeling deep in their chests as they know all the rest. No need to examine first, just be a voice that needs to curse. People who predate people, voices that need a villain, are the weakest voices in the room, with one mirror, one very honest mirror, feeling deep in the soul, says they're fragment, not whole. People who hate certain people, who mix lies and religion, conspiracy and coercion as manufactured consent to deceive people. No more truth and no more lies, till they stop the fight. Voices that deceive are the weakest voices in the room. People are most deceived in themselves and to their ends. People.
Like I said, thank you very much for listening. It's been a pleasure bringing you this edition of the Vlog on the Vlog. Again, I know you wrote the lyrics. You composed the score.
And created the dress. That was so difficult. AI does not like designing dresses, and it's incredibly difficult.
Yep. And it was our beloved Depot.
Who put the show together.
Our Nigerian Covenant member who put together the graphic portrayal, which was equally spectacular. There wasn't, I don't know if it was conscious or unconscious, but there was an element to that I want to talk about, because you and I talked about it earlier this morning. Well, souls have no ethnicity. And truly, Yisra'el, Yehudim, are naming conventions. It's not an ethnicity. They're naming conventions. That when Jacob, who was a bit of a scoundrel, God called him a worm, I'd call him worse, wrestled with Satan And at the end of that wrestling match, he became the duplicitous Yisra'el. Why did they say duplicitous Israel? Do you know why I would say Israel is duplicitous? Beyond the fact that they've acted that way, but what is it about Israel that's duplicitous?
The name itself having both connotations. I mean,
That's
it's yeah, okay.
Not only that, they've
Correct.
created the very enemies that are after them today.
That's also
They
correct.
created all three, quote, Abrahamic religions.
They did.
It's
And it's a
all
division between two twins.
Yeah, that is
Yes,
correct.
that's
Yeah,
right.
a fight between two twins that ultimately gets resolved from the man from Edom returns. Israel means those who strive and contend against God. Israel means those who engage and endure with God. It's duplicitous both ways. And so that's a naming convention. Jacob's ethnicity was pure Babylonian on his mother and father's side, on
Sure
his
was.
grandfather's side and his grandmother's side. He was pure blood Babylonian from an ethnicity point of view.
He is as Babel
And-
as Babel gets.
And Jacob married a couple of Babylonians, and his children were all Babylonian by ethnicity. One of those children was named Yahud by this lovely lady here, Leah. It was prophetic because Yahud is a compound of the two most important names in the universe, Yahowah and Dowd. Dowd means beloved, so Yahud is Yahweh's beloved. But you need to know that they are a naming convention. They are not an ethnicity. So that's going to the point I want to make. The portrait of the woman singing that song was a young Ruth, a young Leah, a young Amah. She was all ethnicities. Her skin tone was much more African, much darker. But yet there was a little coloration there of Asian into it as well in the facial features. She was all ethnicities. And that's important. And it's not important because souls don't have any ethnicity.
no.
But God's home is open to people of all ethnicities.
Yes.
Absolutely and unequivocally.
Everyone.
There's numerous reasons that I have reached out and I've tried to be so inclusive of
Oladipapu.
his full name. Yes.
Yes.
We call him Depot.
Depot.
He's been on this show several times. One of course, is that he is exceedingly gifted. He
He's
did
talented.
the graphics for that. He is an amazing artist that you gave that man a budget of Hollywood. He'd create a movie that would be,
Wow you.
yeah,
Yeah,
be
it
number
would
one
wow
in the
you.
box office. He is that kind of talent. Fortunately, he produces movies for the Covenant family and for those that we're reaching out to. Now, one of the two reasons that I care so much about him is he's Nigerian. The covenant has to be open to everyone. And it's important to showcase that this is a brilliant, caring, creative, capable, competent Nigerian man.
Non-religious.
Non-religious, yeah.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
Depot and I were discussing his talents this morning, and I said, he's a nerd. He's an software engineer working for a major firm. And I said,
She means nerd is a compliment, by the way. It's a
total
compliment from her
compliment.
point of view.
Yes. And there are very few highly intellectual people like that who also have an artistic side.
And he does. He's brilliant.
Yes.
He's brilliant.
And I swear you've been hiding this.
Yeah.
And he also sings.
Yeah. And we have Mark from the UK now who is producing videos as well for the family vlog.
Mhm.
But it's essential that the covenant is open to everyone.
Asians, Africans.
Everyone. So this is that it
Everyone.
was a very subtle part of that I wanted to share, that just because God doesn't like most people doesn't mean that he isn't open to all people.
Right.
And what separates those who are in and outside the covenant is whether or not they're willing to listen to him, agree with what he says, come to comprehend it, act upon it, and engage in such a way that they can demonstrate to Yahweh that they're worthy of him empowering to such an extent that they become immortal and can enter the seventh dimension, where your very thoughts can transform matter. So you have to be vetted pretty well by Yahweh. So that's the beauty of that song, and one of the things about it that I thought was appropriate. And if you notice that all the people that she was singing to, they were transparent. There was obviously no ethnicity there. And when we are empowered, we will leave this planet without ethnicity, without any physical aspect to our nature, but we'll be able to remanifest ourselves physically when we want to sing a song, eat a meal, or just enjoy a planet and life somewhere. And while that does not include skin pigmentation, and while I'm hugely opposed to judging men and women by skin pigmentation, cultures are different. And somebody who comes out of a different culture that has then embraced the conditions of the covenant brings a different perspective.
It brings
Mhm.
joy.
And
to
I
my-
want, yeah, it brings joy, but
Absolute
it brings
joy.
completeness. It brings more fullness.
Mm.
And I think it's beautiful from that point of view. Now, I've traveled around the world. The continent that I found the most enjoyable is Africa.
It's gorgeous.
It is so stunning.
Yeah.
It is so beautiful. So
But it's
I
also it's
want
also, as Depot says, and this is very important, it's also very religious.
no, it's a horrible place in terms of religion and human slavery
Yes.
and the politics of the place. It's terrible.
And violence.
But you know, the whole world is terrible in that regard.
Yes.
But the continent itself is stunningly beautiful.
Mm.
So anyway, those are our first two songs. We're going to play both of those songs again this evening, and talk more fully about them. So Miss Leah, what I want to do next is we sing for Yahowah,
Mhm.
and
That's right.
we collaborated on a song. You know, what we talk about is that. Well, I would invite you to translate and to write. That's just something you're never going to do.
No,
No, I'm never going to get you.
words are poetry's my thing.
Yeah, poetry is your thing.
Poetry's
Lyrics.
my thing. It's always been my
Yeah.
thing.
And so I'm not going to get you to sneak in a Yada Yahowah book under
Hardly.
Leah Wynn.
Hardly.
But by the same token, I have stayed out of your area, which is lyrics and music, with one exception, and that is that I wrote the lyrics to the next two songs we're going to play. So they are my lyrics.
Yes, but you didn't know that I was going to make it a song.
I didn't know
you wrote them into the book.
Yes, I wrote them into the book, and I sent the book to Leah, and Leah turned those lyrics into two songs.
Mhm.
And we're going to play both of those songs because this is the single most important message we could possibly convey to Israel.
Absolutely.
When you shirked your name,
Mhm.
you disposed of your name, Yahud and Yahudim in the plural, and you accepted Jew, which is something that came out of the 1629
It's
English
slander.
translation. Well, not an English translation, the 1629 King James Bible. That's where it first emerged.
Mm.
And of course, their Jews are condemned and dehumanized for killing the wannabe Christian God. To accept that and to shirk the name that has your name and your Savior's name in it, Yahud, one of the great crimes that's ever been committed. And the erasure of Yahweh's name is an equal crime. In fact, when you read the 10 statements that Yahweh etched in stone, there's only one unforgivable act that a
That's
human can engage in. Only one.
That's it.
That is the erasure of Yahweh's name.
You know, I was just thinking earlier, due to the name, there were 12 tribes of Israel, right? What's the
Mhm.
only one that wasn't erased, allowed to be erased from the Yahoo? Even Yahweh won't erase his name, no matter where
No.
it is.
That's
know?
correct. You can never erase that name because it's Yahweh's name and Dowd's name. And this whole thing plays out. The role that Leah and I play, and the roles that Rich, you, and Kevin play in support of this, we're all in this play for that reason. And so restoring Yahowah's name and repairing the reputation of Dowd that has been so destroyed by his people and by the religions of Christianity and Islam and Judaism, that's our purpose. And so it's important, Israel, that you know that your rabbis have lied to you. They've robbed you of your heritage. They've stolen from you your God.
And history.
They've completely rewritten your history.
Language.
They actually have rewritten your language. They created a version of Hebrew that robs you of not only knowledge of God, but of God's name.
They reached into your pocket and took your money while taking
everything else from you.
You have.
Yeah. And they created your primary enemies in Christianity and Islam.
No, it's Judaism.
And become parasites now in the land. You need to reject the rabbis and embrace Yahowah. And that's what these next two songs convey.
Yahowah is my name. To Yisra'el I came. You denied my acclaim. You fled my flame. You erased my name. When I was your God and Dowd your king, there was a different song to sing. To the Goyim you did not cling. You were shielded from their sting. Isolated and hated, you are battered. Your dreams are shattered, the nation is tattered. My words have not mattered. It is all there in the Mikre. There is no reason to have gone astray. They are the way. Join me on Shabua, I say. I have openly conveyed the signs of the Modim, from whose brilliance you should beam, and yet all agleam with your own scheme. You have chosen a wholly different team. Yahowah is my name. To Yisra'el I came. You denied my acclaim. You fled my flame. You erased my name. With Dowd as your Messiah, as foretold in Isaiah, you are not a pariah. Have you read Jeremiah? Dowd is his name. To Yisra'el he came. You denied his acclaim. You robbed him of his fame. What a shame. Who served as the lamb, whose blood is on the door jamb? Do you need a diagram? Do you even give a damn? Do you know the son who was given? For what has he striven? How are you to be forgiven? What is your decision? Dowd is his name. To Yisra'el he came. You denied his acclaim. You robbed him of his fame. Have you no shame? This need not be the end of the story. You have been called to glory. To my covenant be a signatory. Respond to this allegory. If you wish to be replevin, let's remove your leaven. It's on the basis of 7 that I can bring you to heaven. So this is the story of my luminaries, even as they have become your adversaries, when they serve as my great emissaries, and with whom I've compiled esteemed libraries. Yahowah is my name. To Yisrael I came. Accept my acclaim. my name.
Miss Leah, if we never do better than that, that would be good enough. And when I say Miss Leah, the man that does the transitions that turns these into finished songs is
That guy.
that guy. There you go. Yeah, I know it's
Yeah,
it's
that guy
impossible. We always point in the wrong direction because of there we go. That guy. Well,
That
yeah,
guy.
there you go. That guy down there. So it is a team effort,
Yes.
and
No
if it
team
were
yada.
and if it were not for the technical support of Rich, Leah probably wouldn't last a day without her laptop crashing and the whole system coming down and falling into
Rich
pieces.
has single-handedly propped this whole place up with duct tape. And
Yeah, it is. It is. Wait till you see his next trick, which is 2 Starlink antennas blended into one.
Oh boy,
So
that sounds very INTP.
it's a team project, and of course that was
Cool.
Depot's graphics. Now, what happened there is that I had sent the book that included those lyrics, and I think it's one of the Coming Homes 4, 5, or 6 that they're in. Maybe it's Coming Home 4, and then I sent Leah an update and said, I have rewritten those lyrics. More to add to them, more insights to share, and reminded her 4 or 5 times. I've updated those lyrics because I know that you're thinking about a song. Please go to the.
I had already produced this
and
song.
she didn't pay any attention to me. Anyway, she produced the song we're going to see next that has really fun lyrics. There were collaboration between Depot and Leah. We're going to take this out of 1000 BCE Yisra'el under Dowd, and we're going to bring it into 1950s Tel Aviv. And it was so magnificent what they had done to the older lyrics, and the two of them in this collaboration. All of us, just shed a tear and said, "There's no way that we're going to just have the new lyrics in the song as they were originally written. This is way too important to bring again
Both songs
forward 3,000 years in time from
I think both songs complement each other.
yeah,
really
11th century Jerusalem to 1950s Tel Aviv. And so the last one was serious. This one is fun.
It's just fun.
Same subject.
I am Yahowah and I am God, so why is my name outlawed? Hashem is an ugly facade, why remain so flawed with this nasty fraud? I offered you kinship, a love and relationship, a partnership, a special fellowship, and your retort was a religious lip. My story is of grain, olives and wine. Why do you decline? Worse wine. You could be mine before the deadline. Read the sign, be fine and by design. Yahowah is my name. To Yisra'el I came. You denied my acclaim. You fled my flame. You erased my name. I told you everything you needed to glow. Revelations to help you grow. My son sowed the seeds, don't you know? And yet you denied him with a crushing blow. Your Messiah returns, he's been here before. Your guilty bore, he opened the door of this and more. I swore it's foretold in his Mizmor. Dowd is my son, my chosen one. Your salvation he won, it's already done. The Savior as bright as the sun. From my anointed do not run. He served as the Passover lamb. yet you don't give a damn. He fulfilled the promise made to Abraham. He opened the door jam.
Yahowah is my name. To Yisra'el I came.
You denied my acclaim, you fled my flame, you erased my name. I have always loved you.
I wish you knew.
You haven't a clue, such nonsense you spew. So the final harvest will be few. The truth was not hidden. It's religion that's forbidden. And now that you are war-ridden, please look at what was written.
Yahowah is my name. To Yisra'el I came.
You denied my acclaim, you fled my flame, you erased my name. When I was your God and Dowd, your king, there was a different song to sing. To the goyim you did not cling. You were shielded from their sting. Isolated and hated, you are battered. Your dreams are shattered.
The nation is tattered.
My words have not mattered. It is all there in the Mikra. There is no reason to have gone astray. They are the way. Join me on Shabuah. I say,
Yahowah is my name. To Yisra'el I came.
you denied my acclaim, you fled my flame, you erased my name. With Dowd as your Messiah, as foretold,
Told in Isaiah,
you were not.
a pariah.
Have you read Jeremiah?
Dowd is his name.
To Yisrael he came.
You denied his
Who
acclaim.
robbed him of his fame.
What a shame.
Who served as the lamb, whose blood is on the door jam. Do you need a diagram?
Do you even give a damn?
Do you know the son who was given?
For what has he striven?
How are you to be forgiven? What is your decision?
Dowd is his name.
To Israel he came.
You denied his acclaim.
Robbed him of his fame. Have you no shame? This need not be the end of the story.
You have been called to glory.
To my covenant be a signatory.
Of my Torah, do query. It's
Time what is mine is replevin. Let me remove your leaven. All on the basis of 7. Then I can bring you to heaven.
Yahowah is my name. To Yisra'el I came.
Accept my acclaim, embrace my flame, reinstate
My name.
Absolutely marvelous.
Dum.
I am so glad we have both of those two. What a treasure. That really should be playing every day in Israel. In fact, all of these songs
We
should be playing
will
every
be
day.
playing those every day.
We will, yes. When
Don't you
the
bet.
two witnesses arrive, there is a jumbotron, according to Yahowah, that is playing above their heads that will be playing these songs and these vlogs 24/7 from the Temple Mount, which will look very different than it does right now when we return. The Dome of the Rock and Alaska Mosque will be removed, and in the place where the first temple once stood, you're going to see the tent of the restoring witness will be replaced there. The Ark of the Covenant, the Aaron Bereth, will be there as well. The 10 statements that Yahowah etched in stone will be available to witness. All of that will be there along with the two witnesses, one of whom is speaking to you. The other one is Elia. And it's going to be an extraordinary situation at that time. So you just might as well get your prepared. Now, I will tell you that as you listen to that, what Israel needs to understand, what every person who refers to themselves as a Jew needs to understand, is that the rabbis are scum. They lied to you. They lied to themselves. They lied to everyone. There was no oral Torah. The Talmud is nothing but moronic, rabbinical arguments
Against God.
against God. They erased Yahweh's name. They made certain that there was no way for any Yehud to find salvation, to know your Messiah, to know your Savior, to know your God.
They muddied the waters of the seven Moed
Yeah.
Mikra. You can't even, you don't know what you're
They've,
doing.
yeah, they've.
You
pro-
don't know your history. You
Right.
don't know your language,
Correct.
and you don't know your God. You call
That
him
is correct.
Hashem.
You don't know any of it anymore.
That's it.
You've been played for fools.
Absolute
money-grubbing
bumbling
rabbis.
idiots.
And in the process of removing Yahweh's name, they committed the only unforgivable crime. And it's a stigma now worn by every Yehud.
And it's going to cost us everything.
And it's going to get to the point where it's going to come very close to costing you everything. We're in the time of trouble now. So you have to distance yourself from the rabbis. You have to know that they are evil. You need to condemn them. They have lied to you about everything from beginning to end. And that is the primary message that we want to communicate to you. And God wants to communicate to you that you need to understand if you're going to come back home. All right, so it is Yahweh's name that we have celebrated there. But Yahweh, as I said earlier, when he was with the children of Yisrael, having freed them from human oppression in Mitzrayim, the crucibles of human religious and political oppression, and they went immediately to being religious again. They made the golden calf. God said, no, well, then you're just as good as dead. So he had the earth swallowed. And then as we had this continued communication with Moshe, it got so bad that God said, listen, Moshe, I'll stand up for you. I'll come down, my light, my voice, off this mountain, and I will speak beside you so that the children of Yisrael know that it is I, Yahweh, who is inspiring these words. I'm going to come down in support of you. I'm going to give your people 3 days to get their act together so that they're ready for this. They're cleaned up. They're ready because it's going to be bold. And so they did. God had fiery light, and he spoke to them, and their response was immediate. Go away. Shut up. We don't ever want to see you or hear from you again. And God's response to that was, yeah, I agree with that. That'll work out just fine. I'll leave you be. I'll speak through individuals of my choosing from that point on. Now, there is this myth that Rabbinic Jews are Torah observant, and that's one of their most egregious lies. They dress the Torah up like it's a whore. And the reason they dress it up like a whore as opposed to actually observe it is what the Torah says is to be religious is to be dead. To be religious is to piss off God. And that during the entirety of the Exodus, the Jews were obnoxious. They were absolutely contrarians that God despised. And all but two were disallowed even to enter the promised land. That's how disgusted God was at them.
Yeah, I took an accounting of that, because culturally, let's say Jewish people, because not Yahud, none of them are Yahud. The mysticism and weirdness surrounding their Pesach.
Mm-hmm.
You leave hungry, you don't eat anything. You don't eat any lamb. It's just a dead ceremony of nothing.
Mm-hmm. Rabbinical rubbish.
Yes. And the little games they play with the matzah. That's another entire just vile story of how badly rabbinicism has turned in on itself into its own lies and actually believes them.
Yeah, they make it a game to go find the hidden matzah, as opposed to the whole purpose of matzah is to hide the guilt of the Jewish people and to take that guilt, religious guilt, and deposit it in Sheol, never to be seen again.
Oh, they're hiding some guilt, all right.
Oh boy, they are. And then they invite Elia for a place setting, not recognizing that Elia was the single most anti-religious, anti-political of all the prophets.
By far.
And so just have literally everything about them is upside down,
And
including
inside
their
out.
promotion of Pesach as a 7-day holiday. It is not. It's the first day of Chag Matzah.
right.
Matzah is the important aspect of it. If you celebrated Pesach perfectly and you ignore matzah as they do, it's a guarantee that you're going to Sheol, because your soul would be immortal and still cling to all of its guilt. What they're doing is the worst possible option of all
Means you
options.
do not understand Yahowah, his covenant, or his mechanisms for resolving disputes.
Right. They celebrate Purim when it comes from a book that is trash, that's historically inaccurate and that is not inspired. They have destroyed Teruah to make it Yom or Rosh Hashanah,
Rosh
the
Hashanah.
Babylonian year. Completely destroyed it. And they have inverted the intent of Yom Kippurim, which is the day of reconciliations, making it a day to twirl chickens over your head.
And afflict yourself.
And they have ruined the entire intent, which is to camp out with God, with Yahowah, on Sukkah, which is shelters, by making it these 4 species and the rotten sour fruit. It's everything about them is disgusting.
It's perverse.
Yeah, it is. It is perverse.
perverse.
And the Shabbat has become do nothing day, as opposed to the single most important day of the week to celebrate our relationship with Yahowah. It's the day that Yahowah does his best work. And it's always been the day that Yahowah does his best work. So I'm going to assume that Yahowah knows more about how to celebrate the Shabbat than do the goddamn rabbis.
Oh, no, we'd rather turn it into a bunch of religious no's.
Yes. So all of that is important. Now, we're going to move on to 2 more songs that talk about what God has done, knowing that he had no interest in saving a lot of people, because when a lot of people are together, they become really evil. But he was interested in his beloved son becoming exceptional. And he put 2 people in place to raise and nurture and restore his son, either to him, to the man that he was supposed to be, or to his people. And so the next 2 songs, one begins along the Nile, because this woman is Yochebed, which is significant to Yahowah. She was Moshe's mother. She was married to Amram, who is the Moshe's father. They actually raised him. It was not in Pharaoh's household that Moshe was raised. He was raised by his mother and father, so that he was properly prepared for the mission that he would go on. So this begins there and takes her life through the next stages, where she actually becomes Ruth in the next stage of her life, and then the Amah now. And so it's a beautiful story that is marvelously told in the music, in the lyrics, and in the graphics.
Was dust in the dawn, a hush in the reeds, a sparrow beneath the shadow of the Nile of time that had not yet spoken my name. Then I sought Yahowah, like rain on a buried sea, like fire folded into cedar, like the first silver thread of morning breaking the rim of the dark. I heard your name as a new hears a whistle in the field through windwood and stone. I heard your name as a mother hears the steps of the one who comes home. I am the Amah. I have no palace, I have no crown, only my open palms. I have no song of my own except the one you placed in my breath. Yahowah, you are the well hidden in a wilderness, the lantern in the hollow of the darkest night, the path of dawn laid across the face of the sea. You are the wild wind that wakes the olive tree, the pulse beneath the vineyard soil, the compassion that bends low to lift the ones the world has broken. I turned from the noise of men, from altars of ash and echoes of hay, quiet. Your name was a thunderclap alone. It was also the shelter after the storm. Yahowah, Yahowah. Yahowah, Yahowah. I am yours to remember. Write your name upon my brow, on the inside of my waiting heart, like a blue flower in the spring. Let me be the small song that rises from the clay when your breath moves through it and gives it life. Yahowah, Yahowah. You are the morning in the throat of the dark. You are the fire beyond the veil of the hills. You are the lamp at the feet of those who are beloved. I respond with open hands. Here I am, and here is my song.
Oh, that's beautiful. What's your favorite part of that song, Leah? I mean, it was one point, it was my favorite song that you had written. It's not in the top 3 anymore because you keep on writing better ones. Not that I don't love that song more now than I did the first time I heard it.
The part where Yahweh's name was a thunderclap alone.
Mm-hmm.
I was alone
Mm-hmm.
when I first heard the name.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like in 4 acres of jungle, I was just alone.
A little island of Dominica. Most
Yeah.
people don't even know where that is.
Yeah.
Not the Dominican Republic, the little island of Dominica. And you were in the middle of the jungle in
Yeah.
that island, completely alone.
Alone. And I heard the name and it just resounded.
Mhm.
It resounded as truth. It just reverberated through me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never forgotten it. I've never forgotten that moment. And Yahweh's name is also the shelter after the storm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And during. So that is my one message to Yisra'el and Yehuda, is that name alone is a shelter against what is coming, and it is coming.
Yeah, I like the full transition, the pace of it from beside the River Nile, and in the clothes of a slave, to the celebration in beautiful wedding gowns, and picking up at one point a bruised and broken Dowd son, and elevating him, and with all people yelling and claiming all manner of lies.
Oh, yes.
Continuing to run to the sea, celebrate the wind, celebrate the sea, because ultimately we both emerge from the sea.
We do.
And I just thought,
And we will both be foreigners in the land.
yeah, we're going to return to the sea when it's all done.
Yes.
We've come from the sea. We are in the middle of the sea now, and in God's story, we come full circle. We return to the sea. But the sea is what caresses the land. It's what brings life to the land. It's what takes off the sharp edges of the those in the land. The sea is the source of life, the source of renewal, of cleansing. And so that is where we're headed. It's a beautiful song from all of those points of view. We met because when you were searching for God, you went around the world to meet with all manner of religious leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And
weirdos.
yeah, some real weirdos
Oh,
along
yeah.
the way. And finally, when the rabbi decided that he would make an impression by putting his hand up your dress,
Yeah, that
you finally said, I am not
Okay.
going to find the answer to the question on who is God from a man.
Not from that man.
Well, certainly not from any of these men. So you got desperate one night and begged God to reveal Himself to you.
Mhm.
And in the middle of that night, He just had one quick little line. All right, sweetheart, go ask Ruth. And the next song is about Ruth. You can see the name here, Ruth. You went and opened the book of Ruth, and there you found this woman claiming to be the Amah, the mother of mothers, the mother who serves.
I didn't even know what Amah was.
Yeah, but it's the full expression of mother. And it is a mother M with a woman standing at the end of the name. So it's a woman standing up as the mother of mothers.
And for all
And for everyone in the covenant. And so you decided, well, okay, she brings the kinsman redeemer. She is the Amah to Boaz. Boaz got to be an important dude because he's the only name that's actually written on the temple. Because Yakan, the other, is just an informative title. It's only one name on there, and it's Boaz. And she and Boaz definitely have some chemistry together. So this guy is interesting. And who is this Ruth? So, okay, I was told to go to ask Ruth, what am I learning here other than she's the Amah and she's delivering the kinsman redeemer?
that's cool.
And she's got the greatest line of all times. You know,
Yeah.
where you go, I go. Your people are my people. Your God is my God. And it gets even better from there. She is, boy, talk about writing lyrics. This woman has it.
She speaks boldly.
Yeah. And so you Googled to see if there was something feminine associated with God, something maternal, perhaps. Just who is this woman that's associated with God? And at the time, I had made the best mistake of my life.
You did.
I was trying to explain Ruach, and Ruach is a feminine noun, and I assumed that, therefore, by the Ruach being the spirit of Yahowah, and Yahowah has lots of Ruach, and he offers his Ruach mostly to men. And when Yahowah speaks of his Ruach, he speaks of his Ruach as masculine, not feminine. But at the time, I was trying to figure out, what is it about this Ruach? Why would it be feminine? And so I extrapolated way beyond what was reasonable in that regard, and said maybe the Ruach represents some maternal aspects of Yahweh's nature. Didn't go so far as to say that God, is feminine,
No.
or that he
maternal
was
aspects.
multi-sexual, but that maybe he had a more complete aspect of his nature, and he does have a more complete aspect of his nature. But anyway, I've written about this, and I wrote extensively about the Ruach being feminine. And so when she Googled that question, it came to the website presenting my books, and she began to read them and read them and read them and read them without sleep. And eventually it led her to write a letter to me, and it was pretty hot, Who in the hell are you? What in the world are you doing?
Why?
Why are you keeping me to the point I can't sleep anymore?
As a goy.
As a goy. And I said, yeah, it's all good questions. And I happen to agree with you. God should have found somebody better than me.
Yeah, he said, I remember your letter. It says, I'm not qualified, but
Mhm.
there's no one else doing it.
That's correct.
And I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
can roll with that.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's still no one interested.
That's correct.
We're it, baby.
Yeah, we're it.
Love it or leave it. We're it.
Yeah, it's for darn true. And if God could accomplish all of this through us, then give him the credit. So anyway, but that's how we were introduced. She wrote me an email after that one every week. There was always a long email from Leah on some issue surrounding the Torah, and we corresponded. We're pen pals in that regard. Only talking Torah for 8-10 years.
Nothing personal.
No,
Except for a pet name, and that it was just funny and quirky.
Yeah, she called me.
I told him that he could talk about the most indelicate topics and pretty macabre stuff and weave words as if they were silk. So I would call him Silkworm, and he would be like, oh, bookworm.
Mhm.
And it was like a rolling pet name. But
Mm-hmm.
other than that specific tiny detail, there was nothing personal.
No,
for
and
decades.
that's hardly personal even there. So yeah, it was such that finally, what, 9 years ago now, you got off the little island. In fact, you'd gone to another island where you were a recluse, and finally got off of that island. And because a really nutcase asked you to help him while he was trying to recover from back issues and that sort of thing, would put you in contact with a man who has simply passed away now, but Larry Hendricks. Last name actually wasn't even Hendricks; it was a made-up name, and he had a cult that was the center of activity for the group that
The
has
unpopular truth.
has rebelled against all things covenant, and so they of course did the same thing your ex did. They did what conspiratorialists do. They lied and they treated you poorly, and that's how I got to really to know who you were, because I don't like it when men abuse women. And so I went to protect you. And now protecting you, I protected you with my words. But still never seen a picture of you, didn't know what you looked like. All I knew is that you were being abused and you needed help. So
I protected the family from someone who was an obvious psychopath.
yeah. And so anyway, that's how we then we developed some confidence together. And then you had business in South Florida. I had gotten divorced. Way too late. But
You announced that you had left home on a Friday. I'd left on a Wednesday of that same week.
Yeah,
Which is
2 days.
really
2 days. Yeah, 2 days.
serendipitous.
In fact, we probably left on the same day. I just announced it 2 days later
Okay.
that we both left
on a Wednesday.
Yeah, left on a Wednesday, same exact day, saying,
enough.
I can't deal with this anymore.
Of
And
very long-term marriages. I think yours was what, 31 years?
32. Yeah, 32.
Mine was 21 years. So yeah, they were
two long-term marriages, miserable. But
Absolutely.
nevertheless, we both left. And that was okay. And then it didn't change anything in terms of our relationship. And then one day she says, I've
8 months later.
Yeah, 8 months later, we got some business in South Florida, meeting with some people there. I've got a condo that's all reserved, but I'm going to be flying in. It'd be nice to have lunch. Would you mind picking me up at the airport? We'll go to lunch, drop me off at my condo, and we'll be good. Sure.
We've been on that same lunch.
We'll do lunch. We're
It's
still
a very long lunch.
We're still doing.
We're still lunching.
Still doing that lunch. So that's the story of how we got together. So let's then play the story that she is telling, the story of Ruth and Boaz, and we have come to recognize that is our story, and it is our story because of the influence that Ruth and Boaz have on Dowd, and how they would come back to restore him in his relationship with Yahowah. This Christian myth of a Mary and Joseph and giving birth to a baby Jesus in Bethlehem,
or an Asherah. Oh.
Yeah, and it's a complete another lie. There was no Mary, no Joseph. Joseph, Mary is the worst possible name you could give a woman. It means to be embittered and to rebel. And there was no Jesus. It was actually Ruth and Boaz that came back to deliver the kinsman redeemer. And they did exactly that in year 4000 Yah. So he was prepared by year 4000 Yah to serve by fulfilling the Moedim, which he did. And now we've returned again to restore his reputation. That is the story that Yah was writing, and we're no longer going to hide from the fact that it's obvious that that is his story. So let's share the beautiful song that you wrote. I think this is Depot again did the graphics here of Ruth.
hope wore thin, she came to glean where grain grew. A woman of measure, steadfast and true. Through grain and sun, through toil and need, she walked in trust, she learned to heed. And in the wind that moved the wheat, she found a shelter strong and complete. I will go where you go, where you settle I will remain. Your people be my people, let your Elohim remember my name. Where you are, a memorial will be there. I will go where you call me, to the family for Dowd's sake, for the one who redeems and gathers us in Yahowah's name. Yahowah's name. Boaz stood as a tower of strength, kindness measured wide in length. He saw the gleaner in the field, and by his word her fear was healed. He spread his wings of cover and shown her peace, a covenant of quiet release. And over grain and overnight, he turned her labor into light. I will go where you go, where you settle I will remain. Your people be my people, let your Elohim remember my name. Where you are, a memorial will be there. I will go where you call me, to the family for Dowd's sake, for the one who redeems and gathers us in Yahowah's name. Was written, not in ease but in returning, not in taking but in giving, not in distance but in drawing near. Through thirst, through hunger, through the harvest, through the field and the promise, through Yahowah's family and the strong one who sows the grain. So let the kinsman come in thunder, let the covenant be like a rainbow sea. Let Yahowah's name be lifted bodily, bright and clear, pure and clean. For Dowd sings of knowing and healing, of a father who calls us near. And Ruwth with Boaz stands as a witness, love made flesh and truth made clear. I will go where you go, where you settle I will remain. Your people be my people, let your Elohim remember my name. Where you are, a memorial will be there. I will go where you call me, to the family for Dowd's sake, for the one who redeems and gathers us in Yahowah's name.
That story, greatest love story in the Torah and Prophets by a wide margin. That may be really the only true love story in the Torah and Prophets by a wide margin.
Yeah.
That story, I'm getting a restart notice in the middle of my screen. I don't know what you've got, but it's screaming at me. That story is set in the most unusual of all possible places. And that is that it is following one of the most despicable acts in the history of Israel, the great rebellion where Benjamin, as a community, rapes a woman to death. And then she is dismembered, her body parts are sent all over Israel, and it's a horrible civil war, and things even get worse from there. That's the last story in Shaphat Judges, and it ends in the next word of the book of Ruth. So this is something that is essential in the transition to save Israel from destroying itself. That's the timing of this love affair. And it should be known that in this love affair, while there is beauty between Ruth and Boaz, and great prophecy between Ruth and Boaz, the fact of the matter is that there are two groups in this story. A woman named Naomi, and she represents the women of Israel. And she curses Yahowah. She condemns Yahowah, blames Yahowah for everything.
Just like Jews today.
Yes, like Jewish women today. And then when Boaz says, I'm going to redeem Ruth because Ruth's going to end up redeeming the rest of us. When that transpires, what we find is that the elders of Israel, representing the rabbis, they're obnoxious. They compare Ruth and Boaz to
And
Yahud,
John visiting his prostitute, basically.
Yahud and Tamar, which is the stepdaughter serving as a prostitute to elicit sex with Yahud and delivering a son, and they said that's what you're equivalent to. Of course, the son that they would deliver is Dowd. And while Naomi is resolved in the story, so that there are women who are coming into the covenant from Yisra'el, the rabbi's situation is unresolved. And it would take a very long time. It's going to take fully 3,000 years before that all will occur.
And it wasn't, Naomi's situation wasn't resolved before Ruth very firmly let her know that it
Ruth
is
saved
not in your best interest
Ruth saves
to
her.
tell me
Yeah,
to
Ruth
shut up or
absolutely.
go away.
And unequivocally saves her from herself. And it's a beautiful story of how that plays out. And then ultimately, Ruth and Boaz are the characters that become central to God's story because they're central to restoring the relationship of Dowd and delivering Dowd to do everything that needs to be done. We have reached a point where the monitor that I'm using to be able to see this show has frozen. It's no longer able to produce. We'll give it just a moment or two. So I can't see anything, but I'm going to ask for two additional things if the rest of you are still able to see the show. And that is that, well, now I've got something here. All right. So what I would like is to realize that this is the vlog on the vlog. That's Richard there behind us. Thank you for resolving that, Richard. And the vlog on the vlog, we spend most of the time talking about world events, and there's no world events that is germane to the survival of Israel than the recognition that the human embodiment of Satan, the great betrayer of Israel, is here. That we've entered the time of Israel's trouble, and Rahab, the great betrayer, is here among us.
And so is the Redeemer.
Yes, the Redeemer is as well. The Satan incarnate is Donald Trump. The Redeemer is Yada. They're both here. And they're going to have the ultimate showdown on the Temple Mount on Teruah, the 24th of September, 2033. And between now and then, it is our job to expose and condemn Satan and his desire to kill everyone on the planet. That's his last play. If he can kill everyone on the planet, claim that he is God, then there is no return. There's no final remnant. There's no Yom Kippurim return of Dowd and Yahowah. There's no return to the garden on Sukkah. It's all over. The planet spirals into the abyss. And so that's what Satan is using Donald Trump to do, to just literally destroy the planet, kill everyone on it. And since we recognize this, and from the prophets, some of the first to do so and speak of it vociferously, of course, my lovely bride has written 3 songs to expose the dumpster, who she does not like very much, nor do I.
No.
Yes. And so we're going to play 2 of those songs to conclude this program, because that is an essential message that Israel needs to process, that you are now abandoned. You're the vassal of Donald J. Trump. The rest of the world hates you because of the way you have responded to 10/7, and destroying Gaza was counterproductive. Your 2 wars against Iran have been counterproductive.
You've stepped in it yourself.
Your 2 wars against Lebanon are counterproductive. You're exposing and condemning yourself. Politically, Israel, you're a house of fire. And religiously, Israel, you're even worse. And as much as we love Israel and will lay down our lives to save Israel, the very fact is that you are now rallying around a politician who is destroying you, and you're showing loyalty to the man who will betray you in Donald Trump. So we want you to be forewarned to the greatest extent possible that your prophets have spoken very loudly about who Satan is. And today he is manifest in his last hurrah. His Donald J is for genius, Trump.
Yes. J is for genius.
So let's play. I don't care which one of these 2 comes first, but we'll play them one after the other one, and then we'll talk briefly about the other.
Oh yeah, yeah. Did it do ba do ba 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 da cup sup ay 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 oh. Oh Babylon, yeah. Did it do ba do ba da cup sup ay 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 oh. Oh Babylon, you bitch, holding them down in the ditch. Yahowah's children, you turn to pitch. Your feasts, your scribes, your priests, your imams, your rabbi, they do lie. Getting high on that narcissistic supply. Stop your wars, you capacan. Come on, well. Babylon cause all the problems. They make the wars, but you don't know how to solve them. Oh no, you don't, no. Liars make all them trouble. Oh, they make the wars make you look. No, but don't know how to solve them. Oh no, yeah. No. Oh yeah, you got your devils to fly overhead and drop your bombs upon the innocent. Well, that stuff he says, oh Babylon, let me tell you, Mr. Babylon, war is not our solution. We want you in this solution. War and strife is not the solution. Never was, never will be. So Mr. Babylon, the copper can up yours. Babylon cause all them troubles. Oh yeah, how are you told us? Oh yes you did. They make the wars, they make them deals with those that hater. They gonna ravage her, that's cat Babylon. Oh yeah. Oh Babylon, you be doom. Systems make all the problems. Chewing up them innocent to their problems. They got no solution. They bury their minds in some new potion. Them pray to a God that cannot save them, all going down to the grave. Oh no. Let me tell you, war is not our solution. Religion is not our solution. War, religion and strife is not the solution. Never was, never will be so. Global sheriff mashing down the earth with your iron fist. You the clown. Global sheriff messing round, killing his own, taking bribes, grabbing kitty and coming with a fool's philosophy. You think that war gonna bring you peace prize? Why don't you just steal one? Let me tell you now, oh Mr. Babylon, blood dripping down your hair now, blood dripping down your collar now, blood running told us so, yes you did. They make the wars, they make them deals with those that hate her. They're gonna ravage her, that scat cat Babylon, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh Babylon, you be doom, 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 doom. Babylon a cause all the problem. They make them hearts fly those drums. Babylon a cause all the problem, but them don't know how to solve them. Hey, oh yeah, yeah. Babylon make all them trouble, suffering the unthinking masses. To their problems they got no solution. No, 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 yeah. Babylon a cause all the problem. Yeah, 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 yeah. Stop the children are making more wars. Hey, warmonger, stop your war. You gonna kill us all. Oh yeah. Oh no 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 no. Yeah 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 yeah. Oh yeah yeah. Did it do ba do ba 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 da cup sup ay 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 oh.
All right. So for that graphic, we had a little camera mishap on their on the Leah cam. Those graphics, that video was produced by John Voight, who's a great friend and a tremendous talent. He's also the one that produced all those talking Wookiee introductions. He is
And
also
Car
the one.
driving her little Porsche.
Yeah,
It's so cute.
yes, and the one we used for the outro of Cara driving.
It's
the
so
Porsche.
fetched.
And yep, and also even
It is
the
so
final
fetched.
logo that's on the website to that is a John Voight creation. So we appreciate him doing all those things. Babylon, of course, means to commingle truth and lies. No one has ever done that better or worse than Donald Trump. Everything that comes out of the man's mouth is either a lie or a threat or destructive or deadly. And that's where we are. As it pertains to the war, which was a highlight of that in Iran, is unsalvageable. There is no remedy for the consequence of that stupid decision to attack Iran. There is no way out. There is no winning. There's no even surrendering. There is no leaving. There is nothing that can be done. There's no off-ramp here. What Trump has done here is to destroy the world.
Mm.
And that's what's going to happen as a result of his stupid call. The petrodollar that holds the world's economies together was destroyed by this, and there is no recovery for it. The Middle East, as we know it, was completely unhinged. The U.S. military was shown to be a complete fraud. The President of the United States was shown to be demonic. And ultimately, the way this ends is that millions of Iraqis and Iranians are going to march into Israel. It's going to be 1,000 times worse than Alaska flood on 10/7. And they're going to commit great acts of jihad, rape and plunder and murder of Israel. That's how this is going to end. It's all been set up by the unwillingness of Israel to listen, to be aware, and to make all sorts of false claims about regime change and nuclear weapons and things that didn't matter when there were things that did matter. And this is now an unsalvageable situation. You know, he even signed a surrender document, the memorandum of understanding, and then reneged on it the next day. Can't even surrender. So that's what that was all about, and we know where it's going to head because the prophets have been clear. 2 out of every 3 Jews are going to die, and ultimately the carnage is created not in a nuclear holocaust, but by millions of jihadi Muslims.
And I just want to make clear, because we're talking like this may be some people's first VOAB, right? you're not a Johnny come lately to this. This is not Monday morning quarterbacking. The day of October 7th, 2023, you wrote an open letter to Israel, and we published that.
Correct.
We told them exactly
Yes,
what was going to happen.
on that morning, when I saw what was transpiring, I knew that I was in a position to tell Israel things that it did not know and it needed to know. And that is because I am the foremost expert on Islam on the planet. I had written many books at that time. I've subsequently rewritten Prophet of Doom, His Goddamn Religion, 5 volumes, 4,200 pages of explicit documentation as to exactly what Islam is and how it has sought to impose apartheid and genocide on Jews for the past 14 centuries. I know the religion better than anyone. And I know that 10/7 was a reenactment of the raid on Kabar, on the farming community of Kabar, every detail of it, including screaming Allahu Akbar, including the farming communities, including the early morning, including the rapes, including the hostages, including the tortures, including the mass killing.
Including the glee.
Yeah, all of it was Kabar, and I knew it. And I knew Israel didn't know it.
They still don't.
And so that morning, I began writing what became a 75-page open letter to Israel, called it War with Religion, where I told Israel that based upon your politics and your religion, these are the 5 things you're going to do, and it's going to destroy you. You're going to turn the whole world against you. You're going to go into Gaza, you'll destroy Gaza, and in the process, you'll destroy Israel. And you'll blame the Palestinians, you'll blame Hamas, and you will leave out Islam. And you'll let the Dome of the Rock and Alaska Mosque stand, even though they were the impetus for this attack. And you won't return to Yahowah. And these are the things that you need to do if you want to prevail. And I gave them the 5 things they had to do to prevail. And they did none of them. And as a result, they have failed. So yeah, I'm not saying this because I woke up one day and said, well, now we look at the situation, we probably need to address it. No, I warned Israel not to do this before the first 10/7 of 23. A year before that, I told Israel exactly what was going to happen to them.
And for 2 decades prior to that, we've told you and told you ad nauseum that this was coming, that it would happen, and that the only way out of it was Yahweh's name and Yahweh's plan.
Yeah.
And you used, and with other than what the few token Jews that have read this letter, no one else has.
Yeah. And if you recognize the fact that there, you can see there's probably 20 books that you can see parts of for their spines behind me. There are 40 books. And I put this in writing a long time ago. So I'm not making it up as I go along. I wrote it down and shared it with you openly on yadayah.com. Every book is free in its entirety. You don't even have to read them. They'll talk to you. They'll turn the pages.
We've made it very easy for you.
Yeah, we made it really easy for you. But you need to pay attention. As Yahowah said in Hosea 4, that my people are ignorant. They just don't know. And as a result of being ignorant, they have destroyed themselves and they will die. So the solution for you is to shed your ignorance. And the only place you're going to shed your ignorance about what Islam really is, what Christianity really is, which is also maniacal religion created by Jews to harass Jews. And Islam was created by rabbis. Rabbis sold their Talmud stories to Muhammad, which is why the Quran reads like it's a religious book.
I would vote that Christianity and Islam are both in an inter-Jewish civil war.
Yeah, rabbis created Israel's worst enemies. Yeah. And Judaism, of course, now is a parasite on Israel. And I've known this for a long time. I've been writing about it and sharing it. Now you're in the midst of it because the time of Israel's trouble started 3 months ago. And it's the last 7 years, and it culminates with the events of the observation of Chag Sukkah, beginning with Teruah, and the gleaning of the final remnant, and then a time where the mortal remnant is purged, so they can witness Dowd's return with Yahowah and enter the Garden of Eden as it is restored. that is where we're headed. So we've known this for a long time. This next song, and we'll play this song, and then on the way out, you can choose to play any song you want. My vote would be the most recent Concerto, but you can also double.
I think that's a good idea.
With people, you choose what you want to do, but you're the spin master in charge. In fact, your background is even the picture that Kirk painted for me of the old tree and the sea. So symbolic of who we are and what we're doing. That this next one is sheer genius. When it comes to writing lyrics and coming up with a score, my wife she really is a genius. This is a parody on this Star Spangled Banner. It's called Star Spangled Cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some twists in this with lyrics that are just absolutely delicious. But, I'm not trying to appeal to MAGAs because you're too lost to reach. I'm not trying to appeal to Marxists because you're too stupid to reason with. I'm not trying to appeal to Christians because if you'll believe the myth that man is a god and that men can kill God, I've got nothing for you.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this to try to stop Muslims from being Muslims, because if you believe that Allah qualifies as a god and that the Quran qualifies as an intelligent book,
there is no help for you.
There is no help for you. That's the dumbest piece of shit ever written. And I'm not trying to awaken rabbis because you're the problem. You're not the solution.
And you never will be.
You never will be. But there are people around the world that when they hear a voice that is so clear and so bold that resonates with them because he is articulating what no one else will say that bluntly. And that means something to them, and it causes them to do the next thing, to go to yadayah.com and start reading and scrutinizing what's there, which is how everyone that has become part of God's covenant family, everyone has come that same way, including Miss Leah saying, how dare you say these things? And oh, by the way, I haven't slept in a week because I've read each one of your books now multiple times. So thank you for doing it, but how dare you? But thank you. Who in the world are you now? This is what you need to do. And so we're going to play Star Spangled Cosplay, which is brilliant. It's also done in a reggae genre, which I think also is brilliant. And then we'll end the show with our Spin Meister's choice of songs.
Satan made my country great, just ask the Donald Colt. It's all fake news that he a bad guy. Wonderful, wonderful. In Star Spangled Banner, shit stained underwear. Believe me, we're going to drain the swamp. I've never seen anything like it. So much fake news, calling it a witch hunt. Just because we say the system is too big to rig. Oh baby, that's old school, but we're doing it anyway to make America great again. Oh say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last ride? Whose broad lines and alibis through the perilous night? Oh, the YouTube we watched so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in Iran, gave proof through the Epstein files that Trump's name was still there. Oh, say does that copper con man wave that star-spangled banner yet that way? Oh, the land of the arrogant and the home of the dead slaves. Oh, say does that star to make America great again.
Oh my. Yeah, I just hope that one of these days, one of these programs that we're doing for Yahowah, for Dowd, for Yisra'el, for the world, that it goes viral because, you know, this is the only means to getting off this planet alive. The next 7 years are going to be very rough. And you're going to have all manner of people lying to you. And they're going to make all manner of promises, and yet everything is going to collapse. Economies, environments, wars, institutions, everything that people believe in are going to implode. It's going to be a symphony of death and destruction over the next 7 years. And it will all end up with all people paying attention to what's going on in Jerusalem on that Temple Mount. But for most of you, if you don't respond now, it's going to be too late. So now's the time. So let's hope that a program like this with all of these marvelous songs takes root, grows, and resonates within the hearts of those that we're trying to reach on behalf of Yahowah. So, Leah, thank you for joining me for these past 2 hours and for the last for the last 6,000 years. You're a beautiful, sweetheart, and you are a marvelous lyricist in addition to the best wife on the planet, and have been for a very long time. So, thank you so much. Beautifully done. Let's take the program out with whatever one is your favorite. My guess it's going to be Concerto of Basar.
Talking through the wreckage with silken words and witness-worn lips, pulling the truth from the tangled tongues of temples, tyrants, and tribal warlords. Not a throne nor a thunderbolt, no god in a borrowed disguise, just a man with a map of meaning and a match for manufactured lies. He found the name beneath the noise, the name religion had erased and nullified, took the dust off the ancient door and let the living light back in. From Qumran caves to crowded airwaves, from the script to the speaking room, Yada followed the thread through the centuries and called the children out of gloom. No price on the pages, no purse for the proof, just a voice for the voiceless and a roof for the truth. Hear the bright good news, bring the better back to the blue. Sound the signal strong, Yahweh's name has waited too long. Yada knows, so Yada shows where the river of revelation flows. Not religion, not a ruler scar, just truth on the tongue of the Basar. He said Yada is more than reading, more than a word in a weathered line. It is knowing, naming, noticing the Father's mind meeting mine. Torah, not a tethered burden, but a trail through the thorns and thistles. A signed invitation home to family, not a book of religious whistles. scar, just truth on the tongue of the Basar. A herald is human, flesh, breath, bone, not the king, he is the voice calling home. No halo for hire, no altar, no artifice, only the evidence, only the witness. When the world sells shadows as salvation's flame, the Basar brings back Yahowah's name. When the scrolls are silent and the proud depart, he puts the promise back into the heart. Basar, bear the bright good news, bring the battered back to the blue. Basar, sound the signal strong, Yahowah's name has waited too long. Yada knows, so Yada shows, where the river of revelation flows. The Torah turns, the trumpets start, truth on the tongue of the Basar. Not the lights, but lifting the lamp. Not the way, but showing the map. Yahowah, know him and come home.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. That was Fetch. Gotta run now. Catch y'all on our next podcast.